Looks like today you're 22 and you still dream of Hollywood, but next to you lies sound asleep. You're led by
Oak Cliff, Texas, the best neighborhood in Dallas. But it wasn't always this way. For decades, Oak Cliff languished in a state of perennial transition. I was living there when a group of artists, activists, and volunteers decided to take charge of their community. What they did started a national movement. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
What's up? Yes, sir.
What wild crap y'all getting ready to do now?
She gave her journal away, the homeless girl she met in AA, and she don't want it back. Don't worry, hon, I get another one. She's got the great American novel in her head. Typewriters at night, while out of ink, curse on the QWERTY for an opening line. Articulate what's on her mind. She's got the great American novel in her head, but she don't have the urge to put any words to it. There's secret guitars and the artist places alone in his car, and he gave away his guitar to a lunatic in a crowded bar. He's got the last great psychedelic masterpiece inside of his head, but he can't play an instrument.
Did you ever meet someone who always seemed to see the glass just a little bit more than half full? Jason Roberts is one of those types. The first time I met Jason was at the historic Texas Theater. Probably most historic for being the place where Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested back in 1963. There was an ad for a cycling festival in Oak Cliff, an old neighborhood in southwest Dallas. My dad went to Sunset High School there, so the festival caught my attention. I called the Oak Cliff Bicycle Company, and they hooked me up with Jason. I had no idea what the festival was about, so I asked Jason what was going on.
We created a 10-day festival called Psychosomatic, which is promoting bicycle advocacy throughout Dallas, because Dallas is at the bottom of the list of major metropolitan cities for bicycle infrastructure and advocacy and everything you can imagine. So we have a group ride occurring right now. It's leaving downtown Dallas at 8:30, and a lot of folks are on their way to the Texas Theater as we speak. And this is minutes prior to the box office opening.
Nobody rides bikes in Dallas, and if they do, they don't ride from downtown to Oak Cliff at night. They came to see films about cycling advocacy and to hear politicians talk about making Dallas more European.
And they took their plazas, their beautiful, these great European plazas.
The next day, Dallas made a commitment.
Starting now, Dallas is embarking on a new initiative. It's called something very exciting, Complete Streets. And it means that we're going to create streets that are not just for vehicles, not just for cars, but that actually move people.
Today is the day Dallas changes and develops into a city that's great for bicycles.
Who were these guys, and why hadn't anyone told them that they lived in Dallas, Texas? So Jason,
All right.
here we are.
Has it been a year?
It's been a year.
It has been a year.
Um,
You were living there a year ago. Wow.
yeah,
That's wow.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the jump from Psychosomatic to deciding to do the Better Block project.
So we did the Psychosomatic event to highlight the need for greater bicycle advocacy and greater bicycle infrastructure in the area. And I think what we realized at the next level was we were promoting bicycling, but a lot of the problems we had was we didn't have anywhere to really bicycle or walk to. So the Better Block really stemmed out of this idea of how do you pair these ideas? How do you pair this where you're trying to promote this more engaging, active, small area with bicycling? So we just looked outside of our door and we saw these great old buildings, and they were all boarded up. They had no tenants, they were vacant. And we saw this time and time again, and we saw it in all these downtowns across the country, these old great main streets that were just boarded up. And wondered why are these closed? Because they've got that form that everyone talks about. So really, the Better Block was as an idea on how can we fix these great old buildings. All right, so what we're trying to do is look at Dallas doesn't have any complete streets yet, so we're installing a faux complete street just for a weekend. So we're going to have a bicycle lane, a cycle track. We're going to have streets, the sidewalks widen a little bit more, just so we can put cafe seating out as well. We're going to make it as inviting and as irresistible as possible. A lot of the problems these businesses have is these buildings were built back when there was a streetcar here. It would bring people to their door. So you see the businesses are brought right up to the sidewalk, right up to the front. If you look at businesses that are built now, what they'll do is they'll set the buildings back. They call them setbacks. They'll put parking in front of it. So you create a space that feels very inhospitable. It doesn't feel inviting to people. What you want to do is you want to make as much room for people as you do for the cars.
Yeah, because look, these guys are coming through pretty quick, man. They really are. Anyway, go ahead. That's just amazing.
That's like a one-way street. So this car is here. You'll see how fast they're going, and it's such a wide street. It feels very dangerous for a person that wants to just cross the street and go over to these other shops. If you look at a street like Bishop Arts, it's a small two-way street with two-way traffic. So the cars already go slower because they're going they're going two-way. One way, you're basically saying you just got it. It's all, the street's all for you. So we're gonna block all this off here. And you'll see like this cars, they come up to right here, and it's a one-way street. They can't see around. See that big truck coming? It's hard to see. He's in the far right lane. But if there's a car in that left lane, there's cars parked all over here, you can't see. So you gotta park your car all the way out here. You see that one? We just now saw that. Keep it, watch this. We just now see that truck. Now if you're in your car, and there's cars parked all up in here, you can't see. You can't see the truck. And you see that the car's gonna cut across this way too.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah. So, anyway, so this is kind of a pointless street. It really does not need to be here. That guy can't see her. You see she's poking her head around. She's like, I can't see what's going on here. And you can't. It's extremely dangerous. So our hope is to just take this away. What we need is a plaza. And we're talking about doing plazas because you have them throughout other cities. I mean, you can find them anywhere in Mexico City, London, and Paris. We don't have plazas here. So what we want to do is create this inviting people space. Take this from here to there and make it for a common space for the people. So, we can set up maybe a fountain here. It gets really hot in Dallas, extremely hot. So it's amazing that we don't have more water features here. Because you go somewhere like Rome, it's filled with fountains and it gets hot in Rome. So of course they've got to come up with ideas to combat that. Here in Dallas, we'll layer everything with concrete. There'll be no shade. I mean, when you get this wide of a street, there's no way you can get a shade tree to kind of canopy this. We need to have canopies coming over here so people feel like they've got a space to walk even whenever it gets a little hotter out, because it's going to get hot. And then at night, where you can go out, you want a place where people can gather as well. And this connects the neighborhoods to more of the businesses. So it's a natural place to come. You come over here, you get a cup of coffee, and you walk over here, you sit down, you maybe play chess, or you have your kids play, maybe you've got a small water fountain or something that kids can kind of just walk around through or in. So that's our ultimate goal.
It's one thing to get a bunch of folks to ride bikes to a block party, but turning a block from hurting to happening overnight seemed a little bit far-fetched.
First of all, most of our team are artists. We don't do things in a traditional manner. We're not heavy on the meeting side. We're not heavy on the process side. We're really try to focus on just getting things on the ground as quickly as possible. I want to thank Mike for actually letting us walk his storage area. This is actually his office. And we use Mike heavily through Art Conspiracy, and he's been a major asset for us. So anyways, we're probably going to use a lot of his props in getting this thing done. So Mike, if you want to kind of show us around, and then we can meet afterwards and talk about stuff.
Okay, sounds cool. We have two warehouses, basically 20,000 square feet. What we do is we basically decorate people's visions. People come to us with a vision, and we just do our best to try and implement that. So anyway, we'll start on this side first, which has a lot of the smaller pieces, which a lot of the stylists will be interested in because it's the stuff that kind of accents. We call it scatter over here at Shag Carpet. That will fill it in. On the other side has all the larger stuff, like the furnishings, the wrought iron benches, that type of stuff, which we'll go check out in a minute. I turned on the lights over there. They should be warmed up and good to go by the time we finish. Okay, so let's go this way first.
We learned pretty quickly on that unless you start doing things that are exciting and create energy and put things on the ground quickly, then people will leave. So what we learned to do is talk with our friends and talk with the artists and talk with our group of our doers and say, here's a place. You're gonna get this small segment of this block. I want you to create an amazing coffee shop. You create an amazing gift market. You create an amazing kids art studio. We recognized the fact that we had a lot of laws that have been put in place and ordinances over time that basically stopped the ability for a great city to occur. We had things like you couldn't put flowers in the right-of-way, or you couldn't put cafe seating on the sidewalks, or you couldn't do, or if you did, it would cost some prohibitive fee per year. Or you couldn't put sandwich boards on the sidewalk. You couldn't do fruit stands. So we looked at that and we thought, how are we going to get around this? Because in order to make a great street, we need all of those things. So what we figured out was like, let's treat this like an art project. And if this was an art installation, we would point out these things. So we took all of these ordinances that were holding our community back, and we printed them out, and we would bring out flowers in the right of way. And then we would point out the ordinance that says that flowers are allowed in the right of way. And then we invited the city staff and officials and elected officials out and had them take part in the celebration of the community. And unbeknownst to them, it was completely breaking a lot of the rules.
Mr. Gray, go away, 'cause you're always stuck in traffic and can't kick this nasty habit being late every day.
It's going great. The window seals look scruffy, but we're working on it.
Well, that's my fault.
Mr. Gray, 'cause he lost the family business after what got said last Christmas holiday. What he say? That even Mr. Gray looks to the sun.
What you got?
Oh man, this is all the good stuff.
Mike, Red Bull in hand.
Red Bull in hand. I need some energy to pull this thing off.
Bring in the stuff. Bring in the stuff.
And he frowns when he talks at his shoes and his socks. Mr. Gray, I must say, if you make
Just keep moving in more and more stuff. Eventually we have to put all this stuff together. I don't know where it's all good.
We really don't have to give any of this back, do we?
Yeah.
Mr. Gray's college days, they always seem so far away, and yet they should be, 'cause they are so far away. It's a shame that even Mr. Gray at one time was interesting, and he had something relevant to say. Now he sits alone in his chair, and he waits for his hair to turn gray, and he curses his fate. Hip hooray for Mr. Gray, we're so glad you've gone away. We're all glad the story's over. Hip hip hooray for Mr. Gray, we're so glad you've gone away. He got fired, now he's tired, so tired.
What's your biggest nightmare? What you worried about?
You know what? Well, I'm worried about not having anybody show up. All right, now we're at setup for the Better Block here on Saturday morning. We are going to begin in about another hour or so, but you'll see what we've done is we've taken the car lane from it's typically 3.5 to 1 lane right now. You'll see how slow the cars are going. It feels safer. We have people that can easily walk across the street. It's not like playing Frogger anymore. This is what they've done in places like New York City and even in Europe, where they take car lanes down from 4 to 2 or 6 lanes to 2. you can go dramatically different with your size of your lanes. You want to look at maybe like the school zone as an example. You slow the area down so it's safer for people. What we've done is we've created a cycle track. We've got parking for the cars, which this is called a floating cycle track. It allows for the cars to act as the buffer for the bicyclists. Then we have the driving lane, and then we have a larger patio space for people as well. We've given just as much space for people as we have for cars. It's going to change the psychology of the street, it changes the economics, it changes the safety of the street as well, because more people want to be involved and there's more eyes in the street. It's also slowed everything down, so it's safer for pedestrians, safer for cars, and safer for people.
When my head falls off my shoulders, I lose track of time.
Let me ask you a question, man.
Yes, sir.
Why do you do all this stuff?
I believe in having a better community. It's going to be good for my family, my dogs, my friends, my neighbors. I do it because it's beautiful. And brotherhood's beautiful. And I love hanging out with all my brothers.
Let's make this a good day. Let's make this a good day. Let's make this a good day. For walking outside, taking our time and blinking our eyes.
Jagger, you happy? Are you? I'm happy.
So what we've done here is we've installed some cafe seating temporarily as a pilot project, as a demonstration zone, just so people can get the experience, the positive experience of being in the cafe seating, sitting out here, really people watching, enjoying this beautiful day. And we're hoping that after we give them this invitation, it's going to create a situation where they'll actually ask for it. And then we'll be able to change the city ordinances that prevent a natural urban setting like this from happening.
Sometimes it's like turning a Titanic, but we will be glad to be the first pilot.
Let's make this a good day. For walking outside, taking our time and blinking our eyes, waving goodbye. For walking outside, taking our time and blinking our eyes, waving goodbye. For walking outside.
Amazing. Everybody's so complimentary and they can't believe we did this for less than $1,000. It's awesome.
Sunset High School, class of 45.
Oh, I'm Dottie Denham.
I'm Charlie Tupper. All right.
President
of the Oakland Lions Club. President of the Oakland Lions Club. What were you just telling me here? It's outstanding.
I was just saying, I wish it could be like this all the time and just block it off.
Unbelievable. So cool to see what can happen when people come together and have a vision and create community instantly. It's cool.
Fantastically amazing.
All right, it's around 6 p.m. or so. We're still having our Better Block event here. We've got the first complete street in Dallas. You can see it's pretty popular around here. It didn't cost millions of dollars. We didn't have to hire consultants from other faraway places to make this happen. It took us a day. And all we did was slow the street down, and we made room for everybody. For cars, for people, for bicyclists. That's all we gotta do. We've changed the psychology of the street. We've changed the economics of the area. These businesses can be successful now. It's all it takes.
That day in April, the artists, activists, and volunteers of North Oak Cliff turned a dangerous intersection into a vibrant, multi-use environment. But a lot of us thought that after the weekend, things would pretty much go back to the way they were, and that the Better Block project would be remembered as a really cool party we all threw one weekend.
get too entrenched into believing ourselves all the time, then you know, I don't think great things occur.
Done? When you running for office, Jason?
Oh man, you don't want me to be a political candidate. I was in a rock and roll band for too long.
At the Vice and Virtue Ministry, you'll learn your etiquette, the dream, climb the ranks and join us here amongst the bourgeoisie. We all laugh endlessly, extend our pinkies when we drink, and thumb our noses at the lower classes in the penny seats. You move up socially,